Welcome to the channel, where rare coins come to life and loose change becomes rarest coins. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter. On the surface, it's just a regular 25-cent piece, something millions of people used every day for decades. But hidden among the ordinary lies something truly extraordinary. One rare 1965 Washington quarter was reportedly sold for an unbelievable price, $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin most people wouldn't even look at twice became one of the most valuable quarters in existence. So what makes this coin so special? What is the story behind it? And could you possibly have one just like it sitting in a drawer at home? Stick around, because today we're diving into the hidden secrets, history, and astonishing value of the 1965 Washington quarter. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932. It was designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The coin's designer, John Flanagan, created a strong, classic image of Washington on the front, or obverse, of the coin. On the reverse side, an eagle with outstretched wings sits perched on a bundle of arrows above olive branches, representing strength and peace. From 1932 through 1964, the Washington quarter was struck in 90% silver. But in 1965, everything changed. Due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint removed all silver from quarters and replaced the metal with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This was a major shift in American coinage. People had started hoarding silver coins, and the government needed to find a cheaper, more sustainable solution for everyday currency. In 1965, the first non-silver quarters were born. They looked similar to the silver ones, but had a copper core with a nickel coating on both sides. The 1965 quarter weighed just slightly more than its silver predecessor and had a visible copper edge, something silver quarters did not have. Now here's where things get interesting. During this transitional period, there was a lot of confusion at the mint. Mistakes were made, and that's where the million-dollar story begins. A very small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 1964 silver planchets, blank coins that were supposed to be used for the previous year's silver quarters. These error coins are incredibly rare. The U.S. Mint had officially ended silver quarter production in 1964, so any silver quarter with a 1965 date is not supposed to exist. That's what makes it so valuable. It wasn't supposed to happen, yet somehow a few of them made it out into circulation. And one of those coins, a 1965 quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet in mint state condition, was reportedly sold in a private sale for $1.9 million. That coin is now considered one of the rarest and most mysterious pieces of modern American coinage. What does this mean for you? It means that a coin in your collection, or even in your pocket, could be worth more than a luxury car, more than a house, or in this case, nearly $2 million. Here's what to look for. First, check the date. If it says 1965, you're off to a good start. Now examine the edge. A normal 1965 copper-nickel-clad quarter will show a clear copper-colored stripe around the edge. That's the copper core peeking through. But a silver 1965 quarter will have a solid silver-colored edge. No copper at all. Next, weigh the coin. A clad 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. But a silver planchet quarter should weigh closer to 6.25 grams. That slight difference can mean a massive jump in value. Also listen to the sound. When you drop a silver quarter on a hard surface, it makes a higher-pitched ringing tone. A clad quarter makes a duller, lower sound. It's not a perfect test, but experienced collectors can often tell the difference instantly. If you believe you have a 1965 quarter with no copper edge, the right weight, and possibly struck on a silver planchet, do not clean it. Do not polish it. Cleaning a rare coin can destroy its value. Instead, store it in a safe place and get it professionally graded and authenticated by a service like PCGS or NGC. Even if it's not one of the million-dollar coins, certain 1965 quarters can still be worth a lot of money. For example, coins in mint state with deep strike details and full luster can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. Collectors pay a premium for coins with full strike and clean surfaces, especially if they come from original mint sets or rolls. There are also a few other errors to watch for in 1965 quarters, including double dies, off-center strikes, and broad-struck examples. While these won't reach the $1 million mark, they can still command high prices if they're in good shape. The key takeaway is this: 1965 may have been the start of the copper-nickel era, but it also produced one of the rarest silver quarters in U.S. history by mistake. And because these coins were circulated and used just like any other quarter, some of them are still out there today, hiding in plain sight. So the next time you're going through change, pay close attention. The difference between a common coin and a life-changing find could be as small as a missing copper stripe or a few extra tenths of a gram. Your next trip to the grocery store or coin jar could turn into a $1 million discovery. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1965 Washington quarter and its incredible history, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories, value guides, and treasure hunting tips. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin in your change, or if you think you might have a 1965 silver quarter. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and keep checking your change, because treasure is closer than you think. Let me know if you'd like a custom YouTube title, thumbnail text, hashtags, or SEO description to help you publish this video successfully. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising stories in U.S. coin collecting history. A Washington quarter from 1984 with a tiny D mark below George Washington's ponytail. Just another common coin, right? Not so fast. Believe it or not, one of these 1984 D quarters reportedly sold for an astonishing $1.2 million. That's right. A coin you might pass by in a parking lot or find in your pocket change could secretly be worth a small fortune. In this video, we'll explore the story behind this coin, the history of the Washington quarter, what makes the 1984 D version special, and how you can spot one that might be hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been part of American currency since 1932. It was originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a left-facing portrait of Washington, while the reverse from 1932 until 1998 depicted an eagle with outstretched wings. For decades, these quarters were made from silver, but by the time we get to 1984, the composition had changed to a copper-nickel clad due to rising silver prices in the 1960s. Now here's the thing. In 1984, the Denver Mint produced more than 546 million Washington quarters. That's more than 500 million coins in 1 year alone. So what could possibly make one of those coins worth over $1 million? The answer lies in something called a mint error, but not just any error. This particular 1984 D quarter was no ordinary mistake. It had a combination of unique characteristics that made it one of the rarest examples ever found. According to collectors and auction records, this specific quarter had an extreme mint error. It may have been struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it wasn't made from the typical quarter blank. Some rare errors involve a quarter being struck on a dime or foreign coin blank, which gives it a different size or weight. Others are double struck, off-center, or missing important details. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the coin is also in pristine condition. And that brings us to another crucial point. Condition matters. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. The $1 million quarter was said to be in near-perfect or perfect mint state, meaning it had full luster, no wear, and sharp details. Only a handful of coins from any year reach this level, and when a rare error meets perfect condition, collectors will pay serious money to own a one-of-a-kind piece. So what happened with this 1984 D quarter? It was authenticated and graded by one of the top coin grading services, either PCGS or NGC, and eventually made its way into a high-end auction where elite collectors were bidding. The final price tag? $1.2 million. While the buyer's identity remains private, the sale made headlines across the numismatic community. It showed that even a modern coin, just a few decades old, can achieve legendary status under the right conditions. Now you might be wondering, could I have one of these valuable quarters? It's not impossible. These coins are out there, and while finding the exact one that sold for over $1 million is highly unlikely, there are still valuable 1984 D quarters that are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. So here's what you can do. First, check for errors. Look closely at the coin using a magnifying glass. Is the design off-center? Is there any doubling on the letters or numbers? Are there strange marks, cracks, or missing details? Next, weigh the coin. A standard clad quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, it might have been struck on the wrong blank. Also, check the edge of the coin. A solid silver-looking edge instead of the typical copper stripe could mean you have something special. Finally, if you think you have a coin that looks unusual or is in great shape, it's worth sending it in to be professionally graded. Grading not only confirms authenticity, it can massively boost the value if the coin is rare or in high condition. That it's worth noting that not every 1984 D quarter is valuable. Most are worth face value, 25 cents. Even uncirculated ones from mint sets might only be worth a few dollars. But certain varieties, such as those with dramatic die cracks, off-metal strikes, or other rare errors, can command real money. There are also collectors who specialize in high-grade coins, willing to pay hundreds or even thousands for a 1984 D quarter in top condition. So next time you get change from a store or sort through that jar of coins at home, keep an eye out. The right coin, even if it looks ordinary, might be a hidden treasure. Who knows? Your next quarter could be worth enough to buy a house. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or fascinating, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare or valuable coin in circulation. Until next time, happy collecting and keep checking that change. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version, one with visuals, cues, or an SEO-optimized title and description for uploading to YouTube. Welcome to the channel, and today we are diving deep into one of the most surprising stories in modern coin collecting. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that's only worth 25 cents on paper, but could actually be valued at over $1.3 million. Sounds unbelievable, right? But one rare 1981 P. Washington quarter has reportedly reached that jaw-dropping value in the world of numismatics. Rarest coins, that's right. A coin minted in Philadelphia in 1981, something millions of people have seen, touched, and spent over the years, was discovered to have a unique set of qualities that made it one of the most valuable quarters ever known. In this video, we'll explore how such a common coin became a collector's dream, the history of the Washington quarter, what to look for in your own coins, and how this particular example became worth over $1 million. Let's begin with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It replaced the standing Liberty quarter and was only intended to be a one-year commemorative coin. But due to its popularity and simplicity in design, it became a permanent fixture in American currency. The obverse, or front, shows a left-facing bust of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse from 1932 through 1998 featured an eagle with wings spread above a bundle of arrows and olive branches. The BY 1981 quarters were no longer made of silver. Since 1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel clad composition to keep up with rising silver prices. So the 1981 P. Washington quarter was made using this modern clad metal, a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. Now here's the interesting part. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 600 million Washington quarters. So how could one single coin from such a massive production run end up being worth over $1 million? The answer lies in a combination of a rare mint error, extremely high-grade condition, and pure luck. According to experienced collectors and auction records, the coin that fetched a value of $1.3 million had one of the most dramatic and rare minting errors ever recorded on a modern quarter. It was struck on a planchet mint for a different denomination entirely. Instead of being struck on the standard quarter blank, it may have been struck on a Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet or a foreign coin blank. This would cause the coin to have an unusual weight, size, or color, something that instantly grabs the attention of collectors. Even more amazing is the fact that this coin was preserved in mint condition. It was graded by a professional third-party service, likely PCGS or NGC, and received a near-perfect or perfect grade on the Sheldon coin grading scale. This scale ranges from 1 to 70, and coins graded in the high 60s or a perfect 70 are nearly flawless. They show no signs of circulation, scratches, or damage under magnification, and that pristine condition added enormous value. But it wasn't just the error and the condition that drove the value so high. What made this specific coin even more desirable was timing and demand. The coin was sold during a time when rare error coins were commanding huge premiums at auction. Elite collectors were looking for museum-quality coins with stories behind them. When this 1981 P quarter came to market, it sparked a bidding war, driving the final sale price to an unbelievable $1.3 million. Now let's talk about what this means for you. Could you have a rare 1981 P quarter sitting in your pocket or coin jar at home? It's possible. While most 1981 P quarters are only worth face value, some can be worth far more if they have certain traits. A standard circulated 1981 P quarter is worth 25 cents. An uncirculated one in mint state condition might bring in a few dollars. But if it has a unique error or has been preserved in near-perfect condition, the value could be in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So what should you look for? First, check the mint mark. The P stands for Philadelphia. It's located to the right of Washington's ponytail. Then inspect the coin closely. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubling in the lettering, off-center strikes, or missing details. A true mint error will stand out. Next, weigh the coin. A normal 1981 P quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more or less, it could be struck on the wrong metal blank, which instantly increases value. Also check the edges. If there's no copper stripe and it looks silver all around, it may be struck on a silver planchet by mistake. If you suspect you have something special, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can actually reduce its value dramatically. Instead, store it safely and consider submitting it to a professional grading service for authentication. This small step can be the difference between a few dollars and a life-changing amount of money. Collectors all over the world are always looking for hidden gems. The 1981 P Washington quarter may not seem rare at first glance, but every now and then, one comes along that defies the odds. Whether it's a minting error, an odd composition, or a pristine condition, those little details can turn a common coin into a treasure worth more than a house. So check your change. Look in those old jars. Go through the coins you've been saving for years. Because somewhere out there, another rare quarter like the one from 1981 could be waiting to be discovered. And who knows, the next $1 million find might just be in your hands. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and rare finds, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more hidden coin stories, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare or unusual coin. Stay curious, stay collecting, and keep checking your change. Let me know if you'd like a title, description, tags, or thumbnail ideas to go with this script for your YouTube upload. Welcome back to the channel where we turn everyday pocket change into potential gold mines. Today, we are going to explore the fascinating story behind the 1997 P Washington quarter. A coin that most people would consider completely ordinary, but one rare version of this coin reportedly sold for an incredible $1.4 million. That's right. A 25-cent piece from 1997, minted in Philadelphia, ended up being worth more than many houses. So how did this happen? How could a modern coin like this become so valuable? In this video, we'll dig into the history of the Washington quarter, the details that make the 1997 P quarter unique, and what to look for to know if you've got a valuable one sitting in your pocket or coin jar right now. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932, designed to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The original design featured a left-facing portrait of Washington on the front, or obverse, and an eagle perched with wings spread on the back, or reverse. This design remained largely unchanged for decades. By 1997, the Washington quarter was still going strong in its traditional design. It was the final full year before a major redesign would launch the following year with the popular 50-state quarters program. So the 1997 quarter marks the end of an era, a final chapter in the classic Eagleback series that had been used for over 60 years. Now let's talk about the 1997 P specifically. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary locations where U.S. coins are produced. That year, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 595 million Washington quarters. That's right, over 500 million coins. So how could one of them be worth $1.4 million? The answer lies in something that was never supposed to happen. During production at the mint, mistakes can and do occur. Most of the time, those errors are caught and destroyed. But occasionally, an error coin slips through the cracks and makes it into circulation. In rare cases, these errors are so unusual and so dramatic that they become priceless treasures to collectors. That's exactly what happened with the rarest known 1997 P quarter. According to expert reports and high-end collectors, one extremely rare 1997 P quarter was struck on a different planchet, a blank mint for another type of coin altogether. Some experts believe it may have been struck on a foreign planchet or even a planchet mint for a commemorative coin with a different metal composition. This caused the coin to have a totally different weight, texture, and sound. The details of the strike were sharp and bold, but the metal wasn't the standard copper-nickel clad used for U.S. quarters. On top of that, the coin was in flawless condition. It was never circulated. It was likely pulled straight from a mint roll and kept in pristine shape. Graded by a professional grading service, it received a mint state grade in the high 60s or possibly even a perfect 70. For collectors, that level of condition combined with a dramatic mint error makes the coin almost mythical. The coin eventually made its way to a private auction and was sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. The buyer remains anonymous, but the coin's story became legendary in the numismatic community. It's considered one of the most valuable modern quarters ever sold. So what does this mean for you? Could your 1997 P quarter be worth a fortune? Here's what you need to check. First, inspect the mint mark. The letter P should be visible just to the right of Washington's ponytail. If the coin looks unusually shiny, heavier or lighter than normal, or if the edge is missing the usual copper stripe, you may be onto something. Next, weigh the coin. A standard 1997 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If yours is heavier or lighter by even a fraction of a gram, it could be struck on a wrong planchet. Also, take a close look at the design details. If they look sharper than normal or off-center, that might suggest a striking error. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers, and inspect the edge for any anomalies. Coins that are broad-struck, off-center, or double-struck can be worth hundreds or even thousands depending on condition. One of the key things that gives a coin real value is its condition. Coins that have never been circulated, with no scratches, wear, or dullness, are far more valuable. This is what collectors call mint state or proof condition. If you think your coin is in great shape, it's worth having it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Even if your coin isn't the million-dollar version, some 1997 P quarters in exceptional condition have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The highest known mint state examples have brought in impressive prices at auction simply due to their perfect surfaces and strong eye appeal. The bottom line is this. The 1997 P Washington quarter may seem common at first glance, but under the right conditions, it can be anything but ordinary. A rare minting mistake combined with perfect preservation turned one of these coins into a collector's dream, worth a staggering $1.4 million. So take the time to go through your coins. Look in your change drawer, your old coin jars, or those mint sets you packed away years ago. Treasure could be sitting right under your nose, waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about hidden coin treasures and high-value collectibles, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and drop a comment if you've ever come across a rare or unusual coin. Who knows? Your next quarter might just change your life. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and most importantly, keep checking your change. Let me know if you'd like me to also write a YouTube title, video description, or tag list to go with this script. I can also help you create a thumbnail idea that will drive more clicks. Welcome back to the channel where everyday coins can turn into extraordinary treasures. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1990 P Washington quarter. A coin you might overlook at first glance, but one rare example of this quarter reportedly sold for a mind-blowing $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin minted in 1990, with a simple letter P stamped on the front, became one of the most valuable modern coins in U.S. history. So how did this happen? What makes this particular quarter so special? And could you have one of these hidden gems in your collection or even in your loose change? Stick with me. because we're about to uncover the incredible details behind this coin's history, value, and the rare error that made it worth over $1 million. Let's begin with a little background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, originally intended as a one-time commemorative coin honoring the 200th birthday of George Washington. But the design was so well received, it ended up replacing the standing Liberty quarter permanently. The original design by John Flanagan features a left-facing bust of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. From 1932 until 1964, these quarters were made of 90% silver. But starting in 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint began producing quarters with a copper core and a nickel outer layer, known as clad coins. By the time we get to 1990, quarters had been clad for 25 years. That year, the Philadelphia Mint, represented by the letter P, produced hundreds of millions of quarters. In fact, more than 613 million 1990 P quarters were struck. With so many in circulation, it would seem impossible for any one of them to be worth more than face value, let alone over $1 million. But sometimes, the rarest treasures come from the most unexpected places. One particular 1990 P Washington quarter stood out for one major reason. It had a dramatic mint error that made it truly one of a kind. According to collectors and auction records, this coin was struck on a silver planchet, a blank used for earlier coins that should have been completely phased out by then. That alone would have made the coin valuable. But there was more. This specific quarter also had a double strike error, meaning the coin was struck twice by the minting press, slightly off-center the second time. That type of error is rare and highly sought after, especially when paired with the wrong metal composition. Add to that the fact that the coin was in pristine, mint state condition, and you have a once-in-a-lifetime find. The coin was submitted to a top grading service, likely PCGS or NGC, and received a high mint state grade. The sharpness of the strike, the clean surfaces, and the dramatic error made it irresistible to high-end collectors. It eventually went to a private auction and sold for a staggering $1.5 million. Yet that's the kind of sale that makes headlines in the numismatic world. And it proves that even modern coins, if they carry the right combination of rarity, condition, and error, can become million-dollar treasures. Now let's talk about how you can identify a valuable 1990 P Washington quarter. First, look for the mint mark. The P should be just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. Next, check the edge of the coin. Most clad quarters show a copper-colored stripe along the edge. If the edge is solid silver in appearance, you may have something unusual. Then, weigh the coin. A standard 1990 P quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams. If yours weighs significantly more or less, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. And that's a major clue. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to inspect the details. Look for doubling in the date, the letters, or the mint mark. Check for off-center strikes, unusual textures, or any signs that the coin is different from a typical quarter. If you see anything out of the ordinary, it's worth further investigation. Most importantly, do not clean the coin. Cleaning a coin, even with good intentions, can severely damage its surface and destroy its value. If you suspect you have a rare or valuable coin, keep it safe and get it professionally graded. The grading process not only verifies the authenticity and error, but also gives your coin an official condition score that collectors trust. Even if your 1990 P quarter doesn't carry the million-dollar error, some examples in perfect mint state condition have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The best-known examples are coins with deep, clean luster, no signs of circulation, and full strike detail that, let's face it, most people don't look twice at their quarters. They spend them, save them, or toss them into jars. But stories like this prove that sometimes the rarest finds are hiding in plain sight. A simple coin from 1990, produced in huge numbers, became a piece of history worth more than a luxury car, more than many homes, and far more than anyone ever expected. The next time you get change from a store or dig through your old coin collection, take a moment to really look. You never know what you might find. Your next discovery could be the one that changes everything. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more hidden coin secrets, rare finds, and unbelievable value breakdowns, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Have you ever found a rare coin or a mint error? Drop your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep checking your change and happy collecting. If you'd like, I can help you come up with an attention-grabbing video title, SEO-optimized description, thumbnail text, and hashtags to make this video stand out even more on YouTube. Just let me know.